President Trump seemed to undercut his own Secretary of State as he belittled the prospect of a diplomatic resolution to the nuclear-edged crisis with North Korea. Drago for the New York Times, Washington. President Trump seemed to undercut his own Secretary of State on Sunday as he belittled the prospect of a diplomatic resolution to the nuclear-edged crisis with North Korea, even as the administration was seeking to open lines of communication. In the latest Twitter messages from his New Jersey golf club, where he was spending the weekend, Mr. Trump diminished Secretary of State Rex W. Tillerson's outreach to Pyongyang and its autocratic leader, Kim Jong-un. On a visit to China, Mr. Tillerson acknowledged on Saturday that he was trying to open talks. "I told Rex Tillerson, our wonderful Secretary of State, that he is wasting his time trying to negotiate with Little Rocket Man," Mr. Trump wrote, using the derogatory nickname he has assigned to Mr. Kim. "Save your energy, Rex," he added. "Well, do what has to be done." North Korea has provoked a confrontation with the United States and its Asian allies in recent weeks with its sixth test of a nuclear bomb and its first successful tests of intercontinental ballistic missiles that could potentially deliver a warhead to the United States mainland. Mr. Trump has responded by vowing to totally destroy North Korea if forced to defend the United States or its allies, while ratcheting up economic pressure through sanctions. Mr. Tillerson told reporters traveling with him in Beijing on Saturday that he was seeking a diplomatic solution. "We are probing, so stay tuned," he said. He said for the first time that the United States had 2 or 3 channels to Pyongyang asking, "Would you like to talk?" Therefore, he said, "We're not in a dark situation, a blackout." There have been no indications that Mr. Kim is any more interested in talks than Mr. Trump. He has responded to the president's threats with more of his own, castigating Mr. Trump as a mentally deranged U.S. dotard and suggesting through his foreign minister that he might order the first atmospheric nuclear test the world has seen in 37 years. Negotiations with North Korea have long proved frustrating to American leaders. Presidents Bill Clinton and George W. Bush both tried talks and granted concessions while ultimately failing to prevent North Korea from developing nuclear weapons. But national security analysts have said there is no viable military option at this point without risking devastating casualties. White House officials have had no comment on Mr. Tillerson's disclosure, and it was unclear whether Mr. Trump was aware of it in advance or was using his Twitter feed to play a diplomatic version of good cop, bad cop with his Secretary of State. Mr. Trump plans to visit China, South Korea and Japan in November, among other destinations, to keep up regional pressure on Pyongyang. Senator Bob Corker, Republican of Tennessee and chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, said the United States had no choice but to seek a diplomatic agreement. "I think that there's more going on than meets the eye," he said on Meet the Press on NBC before the president's tweets. "I think Tillerson understands that every intelligence agency we have says there's no amount of economic pressure you can put on North Korea to get them to stop this program because they view this as their survival. Should we step it up a little bit?" he asked. The answer is absolutely yes. I mean, we should step it up. I mean, we're moving to a place where we're going to end up with a binary choice soon. Follow Peter Baker on Twitter at PeterBakerNet.